For those that are unable to attend.
IB0124, if you could put your name in the chat, so for attendance purposes, or thank you.
And certainly, we can be very respectful if you can't have your camera on at this time. We love to see your wonderful faces, but the majority of this presentation will be a PowerPoint. So feel free, at least at the beginning of it. Our hope, our goal at the end is to break out into smaller groups of volunteers based off of your specific role. Um, The Komen Tissue Bank is dealing with a little bit of the spring break itis in that some of our team members are not here this week. So we're kind of putting together as best we possibly can with those of us who are available. Um, but certainly we can hope to address all of your questions that you have. I think I will go ahead and get started now that we're about a minute in. Thankfully, I don't have to manage a waiting room. That's probably my biggest pet peeve with Zooms because that nothing distracts you more than having a waiting room as the host of a Zoom call. So I'm going to begin sharing my screen. Please let me know if you are unable to see or hear my PowerPoint. Okay. Is everyone able to see my PowerPoint? Thumbs up. Okay. I I can't see all of you anymore. Um, so welcome to the Komen Tissue Bank Volunteer Orientation. Mhm. We're so delighted to have you here for our April 9th event next Thursday. It's going to be a rather unique event, which is something we're going to hit on a couple of times during this presentation because if any of you have volunteered previously, we typically operate on a Saturday collection day where we hopefully enroll around 120 participants over the course of a full day. This is going to be rather different for us because it's going to be happening on a Thursday in the afternoon, evening hours. But this is what we're hoping to do here is partner with the AKA regional conference, the Alpha Kappa Alpha regional conference here in Indianapolis down at the Indiana Convention Center. And to accommodate their timeline for their conference, we are welcoming their participants to come donate prior to the start of the conference. So I'd like to give a little introduction to who we are as a team. I'm trying to get this to go away. All right. Well, anyway, my name is Julia Von Arx, and I am the Event and Regulatory Coordinator for the Komen Tissue Bank. We are led as a clinical trial by our principal investigator, Dr. Michelle Cote, who is a trained epidemiologist and has got a special interest in benign breast disease. We also have Jill Henry, who is affectionately our COO, if you will, of the Komen Tissue Bank. Kathy Ridley Merriweather, who is our communications and minority recruitment director for the BC Squared. Rana German is our biospecimen manager here at the Komen Tissue Bank. Allison Hughes as our protocol. I'm actually lacking the name right now. I should have my piece of paper. Our protocol
Program
manager.
assistant
Oh,
and community engagement.
there we go. Thank you, Allison. Newest to our team is Aaron Lynn. He is our application developer software. And Jenny Sway, who is our analyst here at the Komen Tissue Bank who does a lot with our data, and Caitlin Denoyers, who is a BLT, so a biospecimen lab tech. Okay. We also like to give a brief history of the Komen Tissue Bank. We're actually about to enter our 20th year as a clinical trial, which is a huge deal. Our foundation actually came from a regional conference called the Amelia Project, where a researcher in the group voiced a need for normal tissue. Thankfully, we didn't just take that request lightly, in that we decided to take a, if you will, grassroots operation into effect, where we started very small. We were initially only recruiting women who were interested in donating a small sample of their blood and or tissue. And it slowly grew into a much larger operation where we reached out to the Susan G. Komen Foundation and were awarded a infrastructure grant to support our additional staffing needs. We do like to remind everyone that we are very much part of Indiana University. We are part of the IU School of Medicine, but we're very fortunate to have this funding from the Susan G. Komen. Um, Go. As part of the need to increase the diversity of our biobank, the Komen Tissue Bank developed a way or different avenues to expand outside of the state of Indiana. We have actually to date been to California, New York, Texas, Michigan, really anywhere where we can partner with a different medical institution and look to increase the amount of diversity of our samples. We reached a rather large milestone some time ago where we had successfully collected over 5,000 tissue samples from women, but we were hearing an increasing need from researchers to even push ourselves beyond that and create a biobank for male breast tissue samples. So in 2022, we were granted permission from the IRB to start enrolling male participants into our clinical trial. Um, that comes with a lot of other safeguards that we had to put into place. But so far to date, we have enrolled over 60 male participants into our clinical trial, and we are continuing to learn about how to educate and get the word out about this part. So if any of you have any suggestions or would like to spread the word for us, that would be great. Last year, if you were not in connection with us, we actually had a very large collection event in partnership with the WNBA All-Star Host Committee. And we were successful at enrolling 400 women into our clinical trial over the course of 2 days. So I like to think if we can do that, then we can definitely have this event, our what I like to call our AKA event, next week. So we are looking to enroll roughly around 45 participants. That number tends to change, but all of them we hope to have registered for an appointment. Each appointment has roughly around 8 available slots, and it goes every 15 minutes. This way, we kind of can keep the flow, if you will, going as best as possible. We could not do this without the help of over 125 volunteers. The shift time for this is going to be significantly altered, like I said, because we're going to be doing this on not only a weekday, but in the evening. So something to note, we really need the help of all of you arriving on time. We typically, for these events, have Friday setup where we get everything into place the Friday prior to a Saturday event. We will not have that same opportunity because of the fact that it's on a Thursday. So we will be simultaneously setting up as well as starting our event rather back to back. So because of that, I would really emphasize we need you to arrive at 4:30 on the dot. Some general information. One of the biggest questions I get for those who are unfamiliar with the IU Indy campus is, where do I park? So we will have you parking in the Vermont Street parking garage. I have the address here. It should also be located in some of the email communications that I have for you, but it is located adjacent to the IU Indy Student Center. It will also be right across, actually, from the IU Simon Comprehensive Cancer Center. My suggestion would be to park as close as you can to the third floor of the Cancer Center, because that is where the walkway will connect you to the second floor of the Cancer Center. There should be hopefully plenty of signage that will allow you to not only um, see that we're having an event, but also where volunteer check-in is. Volunteer check-in will also have to be a very quick operation in order for us to get a good start to our event. So the main things to know when checking in is to first, actually, I don't have this, I should probably put this at the top of it, is to check in with a Komen Tissue Bank staff member. That way we know that you arrived. And then from that, you immediately want to go make a name tag for yourself. You can also grab a volunteer t-shirt if you do not already have one. We will have plenty of all sizes from small to 3X available for you. I'm actually wearing one of our black volunteer t-shirts currently. Um, we also need you to complete volunteer forms. I've sent, I think now once at least, to all of you a link to do them electronically, which will definitely expedite our volunteer check-in if you could get those forms completed in advance. And then we will have you wait under a sign that has your volunteer role listed above. And we will then have an area lead come and find you once your group has accumulated. These area leads are very important. They either represent a volunteer who has been with the Komen Tissue Bank for many, many years and has a depth of knowledge about that volunteer role, or it may actually be a Komen Tissue Bank staff member. These are going to be your key people if you have any questions, if a donor has a question that you don't feel comfortable answering, and also to communicate to you about things like, when are we going to eat? Where are the bathrooms? They know all of these answers. Um, they'll be designated, I don't think with a vest like in this photo here, but they will introduce themselves to you as your area lead. Speaking of t-shirts, this is our current volunteer t-shirt with the logo on the back, Banking on a Cure. That's also our hashtag. If you would like to share your volunteer experience on social media, please do so. We do ask that you respect the privacy of all of our volunteers as well as our participants. So this is the new slide that I created for this presentation. Um, It's a very different event for us. As I said, it's going to be our first event ever on a weekday evening, and that the setup is going to happen simultaneously with the start of the volunteers arriving. We are going to be providing dinner to all of our volunteers, but something that I wanted to take time to explain, for some volunteers, it may be that dinner is at the end of your shift, while for others, it makes more sense to eat before. So your area lead will let you know when you have that option to have dinner. They will be a box lunch option. We have already captured a lot of your dietary preferences. If there's something very specific you'd like us to know about, please let me know. Um, I also created this volunteer shift to end at 9 p.m., but it is our greatest hope that we will have you all out of there well before 9 p.m. Just to note, I always like to mention this, we are collecting biospecimens at this event. So, although you may be volunteering as a donor escort and you have no interaction necessarily with the biospecimens, we like to remind everyone that they are going to be transported in the back of house, quote unquote. And if you are moving between where your shift is to perhaps go have dinner, just know that that is actually um, a biohazard is being transported in the back of the event. Here is a map of our event. We will have these available to you at volunteer check-in should you like to look at it. Most important that I would point out is that we are going to have what usually is a coffee smoothie cart, but for this event, it will be more of an emphasis on smoothies. So I do not believe they'll be bringing any of their coffee with them. This is available to all volunteers, so please feel free to help yourself. Um, we will also like to point out that there are bathrooms located over by this curved wall. Um, Once again, you can always ask your area lead to see if they can give you more descriptive instructions when you get there. But here's a video that we have created that allows for a more in-depth description of the donation process. So I will go ahead and play that. Please let me know if you are unable to hear the audio.
We find it helpful to educate all our volunteers on what the event is like from the donor's perspective, no matter your role at the event. Each participant pre-registers for an appointment prior to an event. They are guided through the donation process by donor escorts to make sure they accomplish each station in the proper order. They will arrive at Station 1, donor check-in, and be escorted to Station 2, informed consent. We are a clinical trial and therefore each participant must meet with an informed consenter before any study activity can be initiated. They will complete the required paperwork and move on to Station 3, height and weight. Each participant is weighed and measured, and the results will be written on a card. At Station 4, questionnaire, the participant will complete a very detailed questionnaire about their personal and family medical history. Following Station 4, the participant will check in at Station 5, blood draw. Participants will use the waiting area in case there is a waiting list. Once a phlebotomist is available, they will have their blood drawn and return to the waiting area. Each participant will donate 3 tubes of blood that will be processed into serum, plasma, and DNA samples. All samples are processed on site at the collection event in what we refer to as our pop-up lab. Participants will check in at Station 6, tissue donation. When the room coordinator calls their name, a donor escort will guide the participant to their biopsy room to meet with a surgeon assistant and physician. The biopsy process is explained again in detail and the participant is given another opportunity to ask questions with a medical provider. Here is a quick outline of the procedure. The participant undresses from the waist up. The breast to be biopsied is cleaned and numbed so that the participant does not feel anything more than pressure. A small incision is made in the skin with a scalpel. The physician will then insert the biopsy device once and 6 to 7 cores of tissue, sometimes fewer, are removed from the breast. The device is removed, and pressure is held for 10 minutes. The surgical assistant will then place a strong adhesive closure, called a steri-strip, over the incision site and then a gauze bandage. While bandaging, the surgical assistant will explain the post-procedure instructions. An ice pack will be given to the participant in the procedure room and also another in their gift bag. After the participant is dressed, they will be escorted to the final Station 7, donor checkout. This is where they will receive that gift bag as well as a copy of the post-procedure instructions and informed consent for their records. We hope that this entire process from start to finish takes only 60 to 90 minutes. If you have an interest in donating during your volunteer shift, please contact Julia Von Arx in advance of the event or your area lead on the day of the event. We will try our best to allow you to do both. Please feel free to share your volunteer experience on your personal social media. We will have signs at the event with our social media hashtags and would appreciate if you could include them. We ask that you respect the privacy of our participants and other volunteers. Part of the confidentiality agreement includes acknowledging the research process as anonymous and discreet. No social media pictures should be taken of the participants or the biopsy procedure without consent.
Okay. Um, as I mentioned at the beginning, as well as in that video, we have these volunteer forms. This is the QR code if you want to take a quick shot of it with your phone. But again, the link is provided in your email. I will say I need to close the online form on Wednesday at noon, just so that I have an opportunity to print them and put them into a binder so that we can have them available at the event. So that link will not work after that time. But we will have plenty of paper forms available for you to do them at volunteer check-in if we need to. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now so we can take a moment to figure out what breakout rooms we need to have. Allison, do we have an idea of which volunteers we have here?
I've got a list of names, but I didn't think to cross-reference them against what they signed up for.
That's okay. I can go ahead and let
But I mean,
participants choose. If you could quickly shout out the name of your volunteer role so that we can know what breakout room we need to have.
I know
Carla, surgical assistant.
Okay.
I'm
Surgical
Kathy. I'm Kathy, and I'm a escort.
Okay.
Hi, it's Keisha Ryder. I'm a consenter. I know it says Tawana on
Of course. Well, and I
label
feel
here.
like, Keisha, you've got a pretty good understanding of the consenting process. Do you think you have any more questions or
No, I just hadn't done one of these sessions in a while, so I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
no, you're not missing anything? And this is
Okay.
certainly not my best orientation. I've got a 5-year-old who's bouncing around in the background, so I
Okay.
feel like I've just been distracted the whole time.
Now,
So I
if nothing's
apologize.
changed, then I'm probably good. I just hadn't sat in on
Okay.
an orientation in a while.
Great. And Jill Henry will be there at the informed consent station. And so she could let you know if
Okay.
anything has changed. But as
Okay.
far as my knowledge, everything will be the same.
Okay. Hi,
Do we
Allison.
have anybody here who's a
hi
lab
Keisha.
assistant, specimen runner?
I'm a runner,
Um,
I think. That's what I
okay,
signed up
Joy,
for.
you're a runner. I'll have you briefly meet with Caitlin. She's filling in right now for our biospecimen manager, but I think she can answer any questions you may have about specimen runners.
Okay.
It is It should be fairly straightforward. Are you good, Caitlin? Okay. So let's see here. I've got a breakout session for the donor escorts. I have one for surgeon assistant, and I have one for specimen runner. Is there anybody that I am missing?
This
This
is
is, oh, I'm
Amanda
sorry.
Oliver.
Uh-huh.
And I believe I think I requested a donor escort.
Donor
Yes,
escort.
you are
Okay, great.
Amanda. How are you
Thank,
doing?
thank you, Allison. Hi.
Yeah, I looked you up. You're a donor escort.
Thank you.
And
And
Danique.
Danique, yes.
Informed consent.
Okay.
Okay, well,
And this is Kristen. I am a room coordinator.
okay, Kristen, you and I can talk when I see you
Okay.
next week. Okay, you got this.
Okay. Will you be there
And then
tomorrow?
No, she won't.
Crystal, I think I have you as donor check-in. So we'll give you
Yes.
some more clear instructions when you arrive. Kathy thinks that you will do very, very well, and you'll be paired with our KTB intern, Emma.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and open the rooms if that is all that we have. Please go ahead and select the room that you need to be in. If anyone's straggling, I can try and assign you.
We
Just
did
let me
get,
know.
is it Montreka? She's a phlebotomist. Am I saying that right?
Okay.
And she just joined. And
Okay.
Clarissa Oliver
I may add Montreka then
is a donor
um,
escort.
to the specimen runner group. Just because I think we're just going to try our best.
Um,
So,
I'm gonna assign people to where they need to go also.
okay. That's usually helpful with people who are on their phones.
And Clarissa Oliver is a donor escort. Kathy Stewart is a donor escort. Danique's consent. Okay, and then I'm gonna
And we don't
join.
have a
I'm out of
consent
here.
group.
I'm going to
Yeah,
donor escort.
Pretty familiar
okay.
with
I
yeah.
think you'll be just fine, Danique. I think
Yeah,
you
I just
got
wanted to
this.
follow up with you on that. The message I sent
Okay.
you though.
I'm going to go ahead and join the surgeon assistant group. Looks like everyone's good.